Hello and welcome to a new Master League video. Today we're gonna take a look at Palkia here with Fire Blast as a charge move. This move going to definitely hurt a lot of steel types in this meta, as my first opponent makes a great catch here onto the Gyarados. As you're going to be able to go ahead and go into our Zacian here, which is going to definitely have a great time with the Wild Charge on it. We have a very interesting moveset on our Zacian as well here, not only on our Palkia but also on our Zacian, having the move Wild Charge plus Play Rough, which is usually not what you see on Zacian. Usually you see definitely the close combat to deal with those Dialgas, but not on our team today. We're going to try to hit some Fire Blast hopefully later, so we're going to let this move go through. We can go into our Palkia and farm them down, but they sadly go directly into their Mamoswine, which will allow us to go ahead, go for another charge move. The Awkward here going to knock them out before they even throw their own charge move, and the Dragonite will have a 0 chance against our Metagross. Metagross plus the Palkia is basically a perfect core. Palkia is very good against ground types, very good against the Pokemon they don't really want to face as the Metagross, and Metagross is really good against those flying types like the Lugia, which you don't want to face. So it's a very good combination, as well as, of course, Metagross is the best answer for Zacian right now in the meta, and Zacian is pretty much everywhere. But of course, if we face it in the lead, we kind of have to play around a little bit. As they go for a Wild Charge, I can go for a Wild Charge. I actually really hope that they're going to shield this move up here. You're going to see me zero bubble this, and they're going to shield this move up, which makes it definitely a little bit better. But this, actually, I'm going to be able to win this team P-type, which is going to be even better. This will allow us now to have a shield advantage, which will be amazing, as I can go ahead and let this move go through. They can go for the Wild Charge, and they can go into my Palkia. Oh, actually go into my Metagross now. Getting some energy lead here. We see the Groudon coming in. I knew there was this team because I knew the lead, and I knew that I already made a video about this team as well at this point of time. So yeah, that's the Tactical's Legend team. I was able to catch the move here. It's sadly going to be not the bait, but the Precipice Blade, which will allow them now to get some extra energy there onto their Groudon. And those 2 extra mud shots they did was really important for them, as you're going to see later. I can go for an Media Mesh here right now. Perfect timing in terms of my move timing here in general, which will also allow me to perfectly farm them down here. And sadly, we're going to miss out perfectly at 1 charge move there, because they already have 2 Fire Punches stored at this point of time. And yeah, they're going to win the team P-type there. I needed 1 more fast move. I think if I just undercharged by 1 bubble, my Media Mesh against the Rayquaza would have been fine. But also great play by the opponent. I knew their team, and they still were able to win, of course, also with a kind of rough lead there. Next opponent, we're going to see a Reshiram coming in here. Shiny Reshiram here as well. It might be even a Shando, definitely a high CP, definitely best bodied as far as I can see it. But we will be able to go ahead and go for 1 Play Rough here, which is going to do some decent damage, but it's only neutral. As you can see here, it doesn't knock out the opponent, but I will be able to shield the next move up here. Fusion Flare coming through, we don't care about it, as we can go ahead and farm them all the way down. Getting some energy lead now, and let's see what's coming in. We're going to see actually the Zekrom coming in here, which is going to be very good for us, because we kind of want to get this Pokemon out of the way. We can go for 1 Play Rough, and they don't know our energy counts here right now, as you can just go for the Wild Charge, just one off of the Play Rough, and as we got so many moves in, they thought it was a Play Rough, it wasn't a Play Rough, and I can just go ahead and let this move go through. It's going to definitely hurt us a lot, but we can just swap out now, go into our Metagross, and at this point of time, we're just going to farm them down to a point where we can just go for a Media Mesh. I don't want the opponent to catch the charge move on their lead there, so I'm going to go ahead and overfarm quite a bit. They actually go for another charge move, which is really unfortunate for me. But I'm so fearing that they're going to catch the move here, that I'm going to be able to go for my Media Mesh now, which is perfect, because now we have 2 stored here, which will be enough to knock out the Zekrom as well. It's going to be a very good game there. We would have still had even our Awkward Tail stored, and they didn't have any energy, so it was a very easy game there. Next opponent, we're going to see a Giratina in the lead. Very decent lead. In general, we won so many leads with Palkia. But if you think about it, there are so many good Pokemon for it. I really wanted to actually snipe those Ho-Ohs with this Pokemon, because I encountered so many Ho-Oh leads. Guess how many Ho-Oh leads I encountered with this team here? Exactly 0, so that didn't really go to plan, but at least I was able to counter a lot of other Pokemon, because Palkia's typing is just so unique that nobody really expects this Pokemon. If you don't encounter a Zacian or Dialga in the lead, you're basically fine. Like, nearly against everything else, you have some play with this Pokemon. You see, by the way, the IVs on my right side, they are not ideal whatsoever. Like, they're really, really bad. But here we try to go for the Fire Blast. Sadly, they go for a charge move before, which is really bad for me that I didn't go for my own charge moves here, because it would have helped me out quite a bit. But yeah, you see the IVs on the right side there. It's going to be a lucky version of Palkia. And Palkia is definitely a Pokemon where I don't really care about the IVs in general. You see myself as well as like a pretty horrible Zekrom, but you see myself using some mostly shiny, cool Pokemon there with not ideal IVs. Main reason for this is either I built them prior for level 40 already, which also was the case here with Palkia, or they're lucky, which is also the thing with Palkia here. And as I'm never going to attend, at least at the current time, a competitive Master League tournament, I am not really caring too much about having the ideal PvP IV because the difference is not that huge, especially not for Go Battle League. So unless it's Dialga where you really need to hit this one breakpoint, which mine doesn't do either because I'm too lazy to best buddy it. It would do it if I would best buddy mine. But yeah, like if you just play casually the Go Battle League for the Master League, you don't need to have the best IVs. Like you don't need a 100%, you don't need a 98 or whatever percent. Like a Palkia like this is still going to work out. By the way, you see me here, my opponent still has 3 Pokemon left, now it's 2, but you see me here just basically banking everything on the Metagross, because I know that they had a lead that was kind of decent for me to deal with, and we're going to see here as well, it's going to knock them out. And it's actually the team that I showcased as well yesterday. That's kind of wild. Like, that's the team that I showcased yesterday as well. But we have to hope that they don't have Shadow Ball and they actually go for Side Strike. I don't know if they don't have Shadow Ball at all, but if they have like something like Focus Burst or something, or Ice Beam, I'm not sure. But like this, we're going to be able to have a great time here. Focus Burst is most likely the thing that they're going to run here right now. They kind of were scared that I'm going to shield the move up, but for me, if they had Shadow Ball, we would have lost this match. Like this, we're going to be able to win this one, which is really amazing. Next opponent, horrific lead again here. We're going to see our Zacian coming in. We're going to go straight for the player of here. This will allow us to basically negate the loss of the one-turn loss because we swapped in our Pokemon because like we didn't win the lead there. So like it basically negated that. We are now basically at the same energy levels, but of course they went for the Wild Charge, which does need less energy. But I will be able to go for my own. I will be able to go for the full farm down here if I wanted to. But I'm actually going to let this move go through. They're going to run a Wild Charge plus Close Combat, so I can just go ahead, go into my Palkia, and Palkia will be able to still take a move here. We have now an shield advantage, which might be really decent for us. We see the Dialga coming in, and we see a Yveltal coming in. This is not really ideal. We kind of getting walled again from the get-go, like literally not the best matchup for me at all. But I will be able to go for a Media Mesh now, and we have the shield advantage still, allowing us now to shield up the move from the opponent. I'm going to be a Dark Pulse, and I can go ahead and go for my own Media Mesh. I was thinking that this would also already knock out the opponent. Turns out it does not, and it still doesn't come even close really to getting knocked out here, which is a small minor issue because the opponent has some energy on the Dialga. Hopefully not enough that I can get to my Earthquake in time, and I can. This is going to do so much damage, as you're going to see here. Goodbye Dialga. We're going to even catch now the move on our Palkia, and we will be able to now take this Iron Head. Good game there. Next opponent, Dialga in the lead. Horrific lead for us again. We're going to swap out immediately into our Zacian, which does not really have anything to hit the opponent, but this is the thing here. There is basically nothing that can really swap into us. I think that's K1 Gamer, is it? I think it is. We will be able to go ahead and go for some Wild Charge damage. Yeah, this is the match up against them. But I don't think they even noticed that I played against them because I rewatched the stream afterwards. He was streaming at the same time, and he didn't really talk about the battle too much. And also maybe I'm just not good enough in Spanish because I have literally no idea what they're saying. Yeah, I went blind for the player because I expected the Dialga to come back in, but they went to their Kyogre. I didn't know that team, of course. And now we're going to have the Dialga matched up against the Metagross. You see me here not tapping, or like you see me tapping there, but I just have game lag there. I don't know if it was my internet connection or my new phone is having some issues with the game. Like if my new phone, Samsung Galaxy, like what is it, S23 Plus something, whatever, has issues with Pokemon Go, then it's really not a good thing for Pokemon Go. So yeah, my opponent got a ton of free fast moves in there, which really hurt me in this matchup, because otherwise I would have been able to farm them down. Like this, they had too much energy because they got free moves in. I also saw that then on the stream afterwards, after the game, that they literally just had like so much free fast moves from me lagging there, which is kind of sad, because sometimes you just get the fast move still through, but you just don't see it and it all adds up afterwards. But no, for me, like I was literally just standing still there from the opponent's perspective, which is really not cool. But at least we can go ahead and go for the Fire Blast here, just to knock out the opponent's Dialga, as this one was definitely necessary. But we're still going to be able to win even with the lag. A weak connection there, which doesn't really tell anything about the internet connection, by the way. It's just the favorite thing Niantic going to show you. We're going to see the awkward tail coming through. We're going to see some decent damage also coming through here. What we try to do here is try to put them into a range where I can go ahead and just farm them down with Quick Attack. Quick Attack does a ton of damage here, and Quick Attack is doing exactly enough damage that we can go ahead and farm them all the way down here. We still have to shield once, but we're going to have so much energy, we're most likely going to get the shield back anyway, but we are already having 2 Pokemon pretty low, and sadly we're going to encounter here the perfect answer with the Metagross coming back in here, and we can go ahead and go for 2 charge moves here. It's going to do some decent damage. They're going to let both of them go through, as we can now go back into our own, what's it called, Palkia, but this is not really looking too good. I'm just going to forfeit there. Zekrom with a shield advantage has literally all the play in the world against our own Metagross. There's nothing that we could have done there to win this game. Next opponent, we're going to be able to align our Metagross against Lugia. For this matchup, you don't have to shield your Metagross at all. You can take a Fire Blast, even it doesn't do that much damage, as you can see here. It still does, of course, a ton of damage, because it always does, but you're still going to be able to win this matchup pretty easily here, as you're going to see as well. I can even overfarm a little bit, go for another Medium Mesh, and they shouldn't be able to reach another charge move, as this is going to knock them out. We see the Giratina coming in, and we can even go for another charge move here, which is going to get them lower and lower. This will be amazing for us, as we can go ahead and now go into our Palkia to just farm them down with the Dragon Tail. As they go for the Shadow Ball, I have to swap out now. It's going to be a Dialga in the back, and this is not ideal whatsoever. This is going to be a really awkward scenario for us. We're going to go for the Play Rough here. They're going to expect us to go for 1 close combat, but because we don't have close combat here, we're not going to go for that, of course. We can go ahead and let this move go through here. It's going to be another Iron Head there. We can take one. We can go for another charge move here. They're most likely going to try to shield this one up as well, and they do. Allowing me now to go into my Palkia. Palkia has to go for 1 Fire Blast in order to knock them out. They're going to go for the Iron Head bait, and now they're going to swap out into the Giratina, allowing me to get more farm. And we are so close to the Fire Blast. Can we get there? Of course, my opponent. Like, this would have been such a perfect shot if I was able to hit this Fire Blast there. Like, honestly, if you battle me and you see, okay, I would most likely get nuked there, please just stay in so I can nuke you away. That would be very, very nice. Would be a cool shot, thank you. But sadly, my opponent ruined my entire plan there of getting a cool shot out of this video here, but very sad. We're going to see the opponent having Mewtwo against us, which can go for Side Strike. We will be able to overfarm quite a bit and go for the Play Rough now, which is going to do some pretty decent damage, as they're going to shield this move up though, which is fine for us. We can go ahead and shield the move up as well, allowing us to realign our Pokemon, which might be kinda significant for the near future of this battle, as we're going to be able to go for the Wild Charge here. We're going to knock them out, and we see the Dialga coming back in here. We can go ahead, go into our Metagross, aligning our Pokemon, and now the Kyogre is going to face off against our Palkia. We can go ahead and try to go for the Fire Blast, but then I decided to. I actually wanted to go for the Fire Blast, as you can see there. I tried to click it, but sadly clicked on the awkward tail too fast. I will be able to 1 CMP here. I will be able to do some decent damage, but not knock them out yet. But we're going to put them into range where I can just go for 1 Bullet Punch and knock them out, and I will be able to win this game pretty easily here, as the Dialga is literally 0 play to one-shot me here. Like, even a Thunder, which is the only neutral move that this Pokemon learns, would not do even close enough to damage here to knock me out, as we can just nuke them away with 1 Earthquake. Next opponent, Landorus, a very good lead for us. We will see now the Dialga coming in here, which we can counter with our Metagross. Metagross will have quite a decent time here, as we will be able to just go ahead and shield up the Thunder. Thunder coming through would have done a lot of damage, of course. We can go for the bait here. I expect them to shield because they have Thunder, and they do shield here, so I can go ahead and go for an Earthquake in time. Do they want to shield this one up as well? Let's take a look at this one. They do. So we have a shield advantage right now, and I'm like, maybe I just take that one, but never mind, I can go for 1 Medium Mesh, and this will be so amazing. It doesn't knock them out, but it forces them to throw. Now they have 100 energy, so they have to go basically instantly for their Iron Head, which will be resisted by our Palkia, so we don't even have to shield this one here. And now we have shield advantage, we have switch advantage, and okay, not switch advantage, but we're going to have now the Zacian against the Landorus of the opponent, and honestly, Quick Attack plus Play Rough is really, really cool in this scenario, as you're going to see here right now. can go for the player of year right now. Going to do a ton of damage, and not only that, we're going to put them perfectly into the range where we can take a 1-Stone Edge here and farm them down before they can even go for another superpower afterwards. And this will be enough to go for 2 wild charges in order to win this game here. So hope you enjoyed this video. Palkia is such a cool Pokemon right now. Like honestly, it wins like so many matchups in the lead as well. It was a lot of fun to play this Pokemon. Definitely underrated. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. On the right side you see the top teams for the Master League, on the left side my recent video, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye!